Hey guys, so it's the morning after the 12.5 release on my car in Montreal, and I thought I'll make a second video in the day this time to see how it's gonna perform. So I'm pressing FSD. One thing that I've noticed on this version, I don't know why, it doesn't start when I press the button without pressing the accelerator. So previous models, I wouldn't need to press the accelerator for the car to start driving after the initiation of FSD, but we do have to do it now. And stop sign, acceleration is good. The biggest problem that I had on my previous drives on this new version is the acceleration. Speed bump, it's slowing down, perfect. And we're going, this is a 40 max zone. We're going 36. Pretty good. And I want to see if the acceleration is fixed because, like I said on Twitter, there's a lot of people who are saying that they actually enjoy this version better than Balai. Speed bump was going too fast for it. So first disengagement, first speed bump. It has been a challenge on those speed bumps for me. And most of the time it's just because it's going a bit too fast. And on a small street like that, if we're going 30, or if it wasn't trying to maintain a high speed, we wouldn't have an issue. So the bike, it stopped for it. There was a bike coming in. It stopped perfectly, and now we're going. That bike should have stopped though. This is very annoying when people on bike don't follow the rules, especially the stop signs. Increases the risk of accidents for sure. All right, red light in a roundabout. I'm not expecting any problem on the streets. So far, the biggest issue is the acceleration for me and the speed bumps. I think once that is fixed, we're gonna be having much better drives. And then what needs to be fixed after that on the self-driving is the flashing red lights. Right now, what the car would do is it would stop, go every time the red would show, instead of just stopping and going. Okay, so roundabout. We're changing lane. The size I'm on the change lane. Yeah, and so far pretty good. So flashing red lights, I'm going to show you guys what it does. There's no one behind me, so I can really show you. See? It stops, goes, stops, goes. Ah, not too bad. Hesitated less than it would, I think. Interesting. Let's test that out again on flashing red lights. Because maybe it needs to confirm that it really is a flashing red and not just a red light. And that's why it took maybe 2 seconds to analyze the situation, and it decided to go. Typically, I think it would be going much more back and forth on that. Could be a fluke though. What happens with self-driving? So the car is turning, it's slowing down for it, and then we're going. There's a lot of variation on FSD. Some days one drive could be good, and then another day the same drive you find difficulties with it. But overall, we are being really picky at this point. Who would have thought that in 2024 you would have a car with just cameras being able to drive itself. Coming from my previous car, that was a Mazda, just the adaptive cruise control on cars right now is far from being perfect. If you're on the highway, it's going to follow the car in front of you, but it's not even keeping the distance that it should. It's late to react to cars stopping in front of you, or it's giving too much distance. So it's not intelligent. You give it parameters and it's going to follow those parameters, but it's not intelligent to adapt to specific situations. If the car is slowing down faster, or if it sees traffic from further distance, because they're using radar, so there's a limit to that distance that they're tracking. But really, FSD stopping at stop signs, turning on lights, it's driving by itself. So what if it doesn't see speed bumps? Okay, it could fly over speed bumps, or it could damage the car. That's what would happen. Is it dangerous? Wouldn't say so. It's not a danger to life. It's not going to be problematic on that front. Okay, so interesting here. This is a stop sign, and see, perfectly done. This is the biggest update on V12. It's the unprotected stops. It does not slow down as much as it would. Amazing. Really, really good. So yeah, who would have thought that at this time we would have self-driving cars? That is close to perfection. It's just that the last steps are critical for it to be able to drive by itself without a supervisor. Like, okay, doesn't matter, we're gonna stop for the signs that are gonna be missed, we're gonna be slowing down for the speed bumps. I'm still paying attention, but it is doing the most of the drives by itself, especially now without the nag. The way that you know that there's no nag is with this green light. Actually, let me put my sunglasses on. So if I put my sunglasses on, it should change typically. Let's see. Maybe I have a hacked Model 3 here. That is not going to change. It should typically ask me to do the nags. Somehow it's seeing green lights. I don't know why. Well, we're not moving, which is perfect. The lights are not green. And now it's green. Oh, it is confused. I did press the accelerator there. I wish I didn't though. Sorry guys, I should have let the car decide. So see, now the nag is gone. I mean, the nag is back on because I put my sunglasses. But I'm gonna take them off, and it's gonna tell us something, or it should. Okay, attention monitoring active. So now it's only with my eyes. I don't need to do the nag. Turning on a roundabout here. Not a roundabout, but just turning. So stop sign coming up. I must say though, this feels better than yesterday for me. There's a car crossing. There's a guy crossing the street. He told me I could go, but I know the car's gonna stop, so I told him to lead the way. Now, there's a thought that I had. Typically, I think self-driving is always going to be more cautious than a human driver. So it's going to be deciding to change lanes when it's more comfortable to do so. It does let people caught in front if they're putting their flickers on to change lane. And it's behaviors that are not common among drivers. But the day that Tesla approves self-driving without a driver in specific areas, because I think that's how it's going to happen first, people are going to know that there's no drivers in the car, and they're going to get used to how self-driving drives the car. The same way I know, I have a feeling of how people are going to be driving on the street. Other drivers are going to know that it's a Tesla without a driver. Most likely it's going to be behaving differently than I am. So they're going to be more cautious with the self-driving Teslas as well. If it sees that it's trying to turn, maybe it's going to let it turn, right? The behavior changes in different environments, and if your environment is telling you that there's no driver in a car, or that you know the Tesla is going to be behaving in a certain way, you're going to adapt your behaviors on the street to that. So you're not going to be annoyed if the car is doing full stops. You know it's going to do full stops. You have no other choice. If the guy wants to cut in front of me, he's going to be able to do it. But he's going to know that I'm not trolling per se, and that it's just the behavior of the car. And they're going to adapt around it. So, stop sign over here. Changing lanes. I'm turning on the right. And I did put random locations on the map. So this is pretty new to me as a drive as well. Really though, the stops are amazing. Super smooth. That I agree with. I have no comment on that. Does very nice stops. This is a stop sign. And the acceleration has been okay. I don't want to jinx it, but it really has been okay. I don't know, can it fix over a day? Was it just a beginner's bug? I think it needs more testing to figure out. Alright guys, so I decided to cut off the video here. I was getting into difficulties giving a new address, and the rest of the drive was pretty boring. So overall, much better drive the morning after the release for my car. Accelerations did seem to be better. We're gonna need to be doing more testing to see how it's gonna perform. I did see on Twitter that some people were experiencing the accelerations as well, so maybe it's not an isolated situation. But from that, very nice release. The no nag is great, and the stop signs are very good. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.